think I'm sleeping on myself. I think I am sleeping on myself. I'm a work in progress. I always say this, I'm a work in progress. Molweni, annyeonghaseyo. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ndando. If you are new here, thank you so much. Welcome, and I hope I'm going to be able to keep you around. And if you are a returning Sabi, love you so much, Gesana. Thank you guys so much for getting me to 298 Sabis. Gosh, I didn't think I would make 300 anytime soon because one, I'm not consistent. Two, I don't really have much going on. So for me, this means so much. I am close to 300. The last time I checked, it was 298 subs, and I was so surprised because the last time I checked a few months ago, I was sitting at 190 something, 198 or something. So when I saw that I was sitting at 298 subs, I was like, what do you mean? I think I'm sleeping on myself. I think I am sleeping on myself. But I'm a work in progress. I always say this, I'm a work in progress. And I hope this year I'm going to do things better starting from now, because right now I think I'm in a better space. So as you guys can see, I have a mini cute nyana something in my shack. I left my apartment in Busan because I left my school in Busan. I am no longer working in Busan. I am no longer working in a Hagwon. I am now working at a public school. So that's a story. That's a very long story, but I actually did record my moving out and moving in here, but I don't know how I lost the clips. I lost the clips, Sana. Something happened with my phone and storage, and iPhone are they also going through issues with the iPhone? Ivele ngafuna uvula WhatsApp, ngafuna uvula apps because you don't have space, and then you end up deleting a bunch of izinto ezibalulekileyo because you want to access your apps. That's what I encountered or experienced. So I left my Hagwon job, yes, and I'm now working for a public school. One, let me slow down. Okay, so I came to Korea in 2022, and I worked at a Hagwon in Iksan. And then the Hagwon closed down after the head teacher that was with them for 14 years left. So the kids left with the head teacher because she was joining another franchise in the same city. So the parents trusted her more than the director, and they took the kids with her. And so they closed down. They gave me a letter of release, and they gave my severance for the few months that I was there. Then I moved to Hagwon. So the first Hagwon, I don't have a Hagwon story. I don't have a Hagwon horror story for that one because everything was bliss until the head teacher left. And my director made sure that she applies for the welfare center to pay my salary and severance for those months I was there. And then I went to Hagwon. From the first day, I realized that I was in deep shit, you know. So, but I stuck it up. I decided I'm going to finish my contract and leave because it was 8 50-minute classes back to back with only 10 minutes breaks in between. Like the workload was too much and communication was bad. Management had no backbone. There was a lot expected of you. Reports, checking books, evaluations, like all of that. There was a lot going on there. And then, but I ended up getting used to the workload, right? And then it was time for me to renew, but I said, no, I won't be renewing. I'm going home. They're like, no, you can go home. We're going to give you time off. We can give you 3 weeks unpaid time off, blah, blah, blah. I fell for it. I renewed. I was like, okay, I already know the workload here. I already know the students. I already know the management better. The devil that you know. That's what I thought. Okay, I went home. And while I was at home, they tried to convince the substitute teacher to actually sign a full year contract, and she didn't agree, but I came back anyway. After I came back, we started having issues of late salary payments or salary shortages and all of that, and it became a norm in a sense that she would pay the other teacher and just and pay me 1,000,000 won and say, oh, sorry, Ntando teacher, I will pay you on Monday. I don't have enough. The credit card company didn't give me the money, blah, blah, blah. She would make excuses, or she would say, oh, Ntando teacher, I won't be able to pay you today. I'll just give you money for the weekend. I'm like, you're not my friend. We're not friends. Why are you giving me money for the weekend? Give me my salary. I don't give you stories when I have to come to work. And I was doing so much work because I was the unpaid head teacher. When the head teacher left, then I resumed her duties. I started doing everything that she was doing. The new teachers were trained by me, interviewed by me, graduation speeches by me. Everything that was supposedly head teacher duties, it was done by me. And they introduced me to the other teacher, the recent ones that I trained as the foreign head teacher. I was like, I won't go down in the Malay head teacher, you know. So we agreed that I was gonna leave the school because this thing of late payments was not sitting well with me, and she explained that it was because she was paying the other teacher first and me later because my salary is higher, blah blah blah. And then I was like, okay, then maybe I'm not the right employee for you. Then get someone that you can afford. So she gave me a letter of release, and then she didn't want to give me my severance because remember, I had already passed the 1-year mark. So she was supposed to give me a prorated severance, whatever that you call it, payment. I took her to MOL. I won the case. I received my money, and that was that. And then I moved to Busan. Busan school, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Hagwons are, most of the times, Hagwons are hit or miss. The school in Busan was a hit with a little bit of a miss. I don't know how to explain this without sounding like Diabatetelela or I'm painting them bad, because they're actually not bad people. I'm not even going to lie to you. They are great management, great communication, great. The only problem for me at that school was the workload, admin. The admin for me was crazy. They had these little extra things that they didn't realize is putting so much pressure on the kids and the teachers. You know, it was too much. We had red classes that were allocated for admin, but they were not enough because you had other extra stuff. You had to check books. You were in. I was a homeroom teacher. Take it from me, if you get an offer and they say it's a homeroom teacher offer, run. Run, Moleki, run. Run for your life. Because a homeroom comes with a lot of duties that we are not even supposed to be doing under E2 visa. That's another thing that I realized at a later stage, that actually I shouldn't be doing this. But when it comes to management, the co-teachers, the kids, respect, top tier. They know how to teach their students respect at that school. The language, there was no language barrier issue because everyone, including teachers, kids, kitchen staff, everyone spoke English. So inside the building, they were not allowed to speak Korean unless the teachers are speaking to each other or talking to each other. But the kids, even during playtime, they had to speak English. And the other thing that I was like, I felt like I was too comfortable in the Hagwon system, and I was just scared of actually branching out and trying public schools. And one of the reasons for that was how people make it sound like it's so hard to compile the documents, or it's a tedious process. Yes, it comes with a lot of documentation or documents together, but it's doable. And I didn't apply through Epic. I applied with Korvia because my Busan school that I say was good for me, good working environment and everything, good environment and management. Sorry, it was through Korvia. I got that school through Korvia. So when I had decided that I'm not renewing with the school, I contacted Korvia again. I was like, I'm looking for a job, and then the guy that got me that job, he interviewed me, and then he went AWOL. And then I tried to contact recruiters. I tried to contact recruiters, and Sana, they were mising me. Ujulie dimtebe, diamazi, ujulie dimtebe, or the miser that pampana sana ujulie wam and guy. Because I was like, if things aren't going well with Korvia, then I know I have Ujulie on my side. Ujulie, what's your eye girl? Well, I think the reason why Uju reminds me is because I told her I want to take a month off and come back in April. If I was gonna take another job with a Hagwon, I was going to take a month off, which is March off, and come back in April now. So Ujulie, when I told her that, she was like, on wasted Mr. Han too. And Mark, like all the well-known recruiters, they wanted people who wanted jobs for March, like the March start, which made sense because it was the beginning of the semester. So I get it. And then I emailed Korvia again. I was like, guys, I just finished. I'm already an existing Korvia member. I got my current job through you guys. I've been applying for jobs on the portal, on your website, and I spoke to this recruiter in your company, but I haven't really had anything tangible. Is there anything wrong with my documents, or is there anything that I need to fix with my resume or something? And they got back to me and they were like, they got back to me with an email saying that all my documents are correct, but I need to fix the starting date because they are looking for people who want to start at the beginning of the semester. And the schools that I'm applying for, which are direct hire public schools, they want people who are going to start at the beginning of the semester, not in the middle, not after. So I was like, okay, maybe I should give up on taking a break and just take the and try and apply for this opportunity. It falls through, then I will take a break from Korea, go home or travel, and then come back and take another Hagwon contract. Okay, so I already had my transcripts, sealed transcripts. Sealed transcripts, they don't expire, and I had mine for 3 years, around 3 years. And I had my referral letters, which had expired. So I contacted my co-teacher from Hagwon, and I asked for a referral letter. She gave it to me, she sent it to me, and I went to fetch the original. And then my Busan school, I asked them to give me a referral letter. They were like, oh yes, teacher, we will do that for you. And they gave me one in Korean and one in English to show that they're good people. They didn't give me any problems when it comes to referral letters, severance, and my salary. I never had a late salary payment. They even had a bit of incentives if you go to work the whole month. And this is a franchise that is on the blacklist. They are on the blacklist. The franchise as a whole is on the blacklist. But I think it's true when people say it depends on the branch and on the management. Okay, I had those referral letters, and then they asked me to go to provide them with proof of teaching experience in Korea. This one is tricky because sometimes the Department of Education in Korea doesn't really consider Hagwon experience as experience, but I was told that I need to go there. And now we need to remember that sometimes the directors, they don't register us immediately, they go later to education. And this is what happened with me. My first school, they registered me late. I got there on the 1st of September, but they only registered me in November or January, I think January the following year. And they didn't cancel my visa again when I left in June. They only canceled it in November. You see, it's overlapping. So now it says that I started in January until November, which means I have 11 months there. And then when I got to Changwon in June, they didn't register me, and in June 2023, they didn't register me until March 2024. They only went to register me at the Office of Education in March 2024. Don't ask me why. I also don't know. And then now when it comes to experience, I don't have 3 full years experience like I said on my resume, because both my schools didn't register me properly. So this is a tip to you. Go to Government 24 and check all your schools. Check if your experience corresponds with the experience that you know you have, and check if your current boss has registered you properly. Because even the school in Busan, there were 2 registrations after that school, and that one I understood because we submitted our documents in March when we got there, and then they submitted the documents at the Office of Education. But then they were also handpicked to be one of the schools that actually that go for another medical test in June. So we went in June again. So at the Office of Education, the Busan school showed that we registered in March, and then it was cancelled in June, and then we registered again in June until my last day. So I think this is very important. If at some point you want to move from Hagwon to public school, check Government E24. I think it's Government 24 or Government E24. I will double check and write it here, and check your teaching experience in Korea. Every Office of Education you've been registered at, it will reflect there. It will show. Yeah. And then what else did they require from me? I didn't actually do an interview. So it's the referral letters, it's sealed transcripts, proof of teaching experience, resume, what's this, TEFL, your what's this, your degree, your TEFL if you have a TEFL, your police clearance, of which these documents you can retrieve them from your nearest immigration. You can even retrieve them online. I got mine online, and someone in immigration actually helped me to retrieve them. And that's it. Like, it was not that hard. I didn't do an interview. I applied on the Korvia website, and then they said, or they tried to actually schedule an interview, but because our times were clashing, they were clashing, so they gave me interview questions. So I was to make a video answering the interview questions and introducing myself, my teaching methodology, and all that. And then they gave me a topic to do a demo. They gave me frequency. I had to make it a lesson on frequency. How often do you blah blah blah? How often do you blah blah blah? You know, and that's all I did. Sorry, I made my intro video and I answered the interview questions. How do you handle students with special needs, or students that's the villain of the class? Or that's troublesome. How do you apply how do you apply, is it differentiation? What was it called? but how do you deal with students of different levels, like lower level, middle, higher level? How do you accommodate all levels in your class, you know? And then I did the demo and I sent them the introduction video. I kid you not, on the same day after submitting those. And I was not so sure because it was my first time. It was my first time doing a demo, and I was teaching chairs. There was no one in the room, just chairs. And I was pretending. I gave the chairs names. I was creative with it. I came with my energy, Yondweba, and all of that. And it actually worked because they called back. They sent me an email immediately after that, and they were like, job offered. I was like, oh, Mom Korvia is the hill I'm willing to die on, because what do you mean? They always getting me this, well, not always, this is the second time, but I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like they have the best jobs, but because you are in Korea, it could still be a hit or miss because Korvia is an agency. But I like the fact that they take you through the they take you through the document process. They help you, like they hold your hand throughout everything. They have a checklist. They hold your hand through immigration and all of that. Another thing that was a shocker for me when I got to the public school was that my current school, they didn't have their actual apartment because the previous teacher had her own apartment. And this is a small city. Most places were 5 million, 3 million for a deposit, and I was not comfortable having someone keeping so much money for me, child. And also it was gonna mean that I was gonna have to tap into my savings or wait for my severance before I can move in, and I didn't know anyone around this area, and I had to be at work on the 4th of March, you get. So they were like, teacher, there is a building that we found that does not require a deposit. You can decide if you want to sign with us or if you want to sign with the landlord. The housing allowance is 500,000 won, but the rent at this place is 380 or 350, including maintenance, and then the other 150 you can pay your bills, your monthly bills and all that. The apartment, it was a matchbox, guys. The video, I will attach the video. I didn't want that because I felt like I've been so unlucky when it comes to finding proper accommodation or housing in Korea. Like, I've been living in shacks the entire time, but I was like, what can I do? Because I'm not willing to pay 5 million won. I'm not willing to have someone sitting with Mali Abandonabam when I've been reading so many horror landlord stories. I was like, yo, I'm not taking any chances. My partner was like, no, I can help you with it. I was like, Fanaga, no, we're not taking chances. Even if he was going to give me the whole amount, I was not going to let him do that. Because, what do you mean? Or maybe, I was not going to let him do that. But I ended up taking this apartment. I feel like this vlog is going to be very long. This vlog is going to be very long because I want to tell you guys why I've been so quiet after moving here. On the day when I was traveling and moving out, I didn't take a truck to come here. I decided to send my boxes and then take the train. And while I was traveling here, I forgot my laptop bag inside the train, and the laptop bag had my laptop, all my documents, even my passport. I know this is Korea, but I was like, what if, you know? And I needed all those documents in there. And then that surprised me. Someone was closing the door in another apartment, and it always happens. Okay, and then I tried to call KTX and all that, and they did help me. They said that the trains have not been cleaned yet, but if they do find the bag, they will contact me. I must leave my details, blah 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 blah. That was in Chanan Asan Station, which is like 1 hour 30 minutes away from my current city. And then I came here, stressed as I am. When I got here, the apartment was filthy. I'm going to put videos and pictures. They are quite disgusting, but that was the situation. The house is smaller than what I saw in the video and pictures. The AC was dirty, the floors, the bathroom, the fridge. The fridge had mold. The microwave had mold. And the landlord said, the apartment was cleaned. A cleaner came and cleaned. Like Ajushi, we are not blind. We can see here. The cupboards, they had immediately sailors and all guys. After a long ass day, I had to deal with that. Also, there was no bed. There was no bed. Oh, I did have mattress. I ordered a mattress before I came here. Because remember, this is an empty apartment. And my school, because they are not giving me the apartment, they said, Obana, since I'm not signing with the school, I'm signing with the landlord, then I will have to furnish the apartment by myself. So there was no bed. There was nothing in this apartment. There was only that fridge that had mold. The microwave, I actually brought my own microwave. I didn't want to use theirs. And some of my stuff, my boxes were already here, like my dishes and all of that. So I was not really worried about all of that. But the apartment was a mess. So I had to go to Daiso and buy cleaning stuff and buy other things like plates, cups that I couldn't move with from my old apartment. I bought a bed. I bought what do you call this? Iron, because why does it Korea? So I didn't buy a wooden base because also when I establish an low base without manpower. Oh, I understand. Okay. And then I got a chair, I got a mat, I got like a few things to make it look pretty and all of that. Tell me why when I go to immigration, okay, so it's the 80,000 one for renewing, and then tell me why my old ARC, it had 2 spaces left, like 2 addresses were going to fit there. And they said, no, Sissy, you need to change your ARC because you have the old ARC. That means I have to pay another 35,000 one. Guys, oh, let me backtrack. My bag was found in the KTX, and then they called me and they told me to go and get it. I went and got it, and everything was still in there. Thank you, Lord, for a safe country. Because I've been going to been Samaya, the family moyen. Okay. I paid at immigration and all that, and then tell me why when I give my school the rest of the documents so that they can register me at the Department of Education, they tell me, Sissy, you need to do a latent TB test. I'm like, they did do an x-ray at the hospital when I went to do my medicals, and I already paid 80,000 won for medicals. They were like, nope, this is a different test. You have to do a blood test for TB, blah, 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 blah. I was like, this was not communicated with me. This was not communicated with me. But I had to do it. I paid 60,000 won. Please, guys, I want you guys, let me go, yeah. Okay. I paid that 60,000 won. Okay. Now I need a baguette for food disposal and blah, blah, blah. And I go to the community center. When I get to the community center, they say, Sissy, you cannot get the bucket because you still show as someone who lives in Busan. You are not registered in this city. Your address has not been changed. Hagwon, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I've been to immigration and everything, and my initial appointment at immigration, I'm changing. It's a visa transfer, change of employment, place of employment, and change of address. So what do you mean? They were like, no, it has not been changed. You have to go to immigration. And now, mind you, it's day 17. I've been here for 17 days. Like after 14 days, my 14 days had passed when I went to the community center. When I get to immigration, but I guess it's because I can't get all your change a date yakho. I can't change the address here. You have to pay 100,000 won. But we are willing to give you a 20,000 won discount. So you will have to pay 80,000 won. At this point, I'm going. Remember, guys, I've been popping out money. City. I am trying to settle in. There's a lot going on. I have to furnish an empty apartment. I am dealing with so much. I have to pay for extra medicals. Like it's everything is just happening so fast. And in D1, yeah, and the go, guys. I ended up paying the 80,000, crying about it. I went on the Kakao group. I crashed out. I crashed out, and then I got over it. The next day or 2 days later, when I come back from work, my refrigerator is not working. Everything. I had just bought food from Al Bazaar. I had just bought food from Al Bazaar and Kupang. Like 2 days ago, like the weekend. Maybe my order arrived on a Saturday. Monday, when I come back from work, I can smell Conway off because this apartment is really small. There's not much ventilation. So when something is off, it's quickly to start smelling, the whole apartment to start smelling. When I open the fridge, everything has melted. The fridge has stopped working. Mind you, the landlord actually sent my co-teacher a message saying that he has not seen a notification rent yam. Like, I go rent when I get paid. And they were like, no, you sit on top of your money in Korea. You were supposed to pay your rent on the 1st of March because you moved in on the 28th of Feb. You were supposed to pay your rent before moving in. They did have 380,000 while I'm already going through so much. Okay, you need to pay 380,000 won now, and then you also need to pay another 380,000 won before the 1st of April, because you need to pay for March and April at this point. So it had been done 760,000 won. Dear Goa. Like, where am I going to get it's 760,000 won? So I paid like a much in Mali before the refrigerator issue. And now I paid for all these small monies. I bought stuff at Daiso. I bought stuff for the apartment from Kupang. I bought food and all of those things. And now the food that was in the refrigerator, after paying rent, the food, all the food has gone to waste. I call my landlord and he says he is going to buy a new refrigerator, but he can't tell me when. He doesn't know when. Remember, this is Monday. So I still had the stray form from Al Bazaar. I took my meat, I put it back in there, and then I went to the convenience store and I kept buying ice every day so that I can just keep my food in a better condition until I get a new fridge. The landlord got me a new fridge on a Friday. From Monday to Friday, I kept on going to the convenience store and buying ice and filling in the ice there and trying to cook some of the food. But I live by myself. Like, who am I cooking for if I'm going to cook a lot of stuff and I don't have a fridge to store the food, the already cooked food? Sana, all I can say is that my life in this city has been a mess. It has been a slope. Stay economy. And yazi, this month, depression for money, it will never catch me at this point because I went through so much all by myself, far away from my friends. I don't know anyone in the city. Well, I didn't know anyone in the city. I was by myself. I would just take my pillow and just scream on my pillow because what else can I do? But yeah, the purpose of this video is just life lately kind of us, I guess, and to just vent and to also mention what is some blessings come with a lot of challenges, and you just need to be resilient and just push and be patient in like in the process. Just be patient, pray about it, and that's all helped me. That's all that was helping me throughout the process. I was just crying about it, praying about it, like it was crazy. I would to show that I was almost like gradually getting into depression mode. I would come back and sleep, like literally every day. Come back from work, eat, sleep, eat, sleep. Sometimes I would not even have an appetite. I would just sleep without eating and maybe wake up around 3 a.m. hungry and then get something to eat and go back to sleep. But I am happy to say I am very happy at my school. I have 4 classes a day, 4 40 minutes classes a day. I have very generous co-teachers. One is my handler. She's 64 years old. She's very generous. Like, I have a grandma in Korea at this point, or mom and or grandma in Korea. And then my main co-teacher, she's also great. We co-teach very well together. I'm still getting used to splitting time, like 20 minutes for the co-teacher and 20 minutes for me. I haven't really gotten used to that, but slowly I'm getting there. And then some days I teach by myself, all 4 classes, all 4 40 minutes classes I teach by myself. But overall, I want to encourage you guys to not sleep on direct hires through Korvia. They actually have posts right now. They have posts right about now for the next epic intake. So just gather your documents, and it's just getting your transcripts. And these documents, you can ask people at home to actually go get the documents for you and send them via DHL, because that's what I did. That's how I got my documents. They were sent via DHL. So yeah, we moved. Here's to new beginnings. Here's to a better work-life balance. I have more holidays now, more sick days. I don't have to go to work even when I'm not feeling so well. And yeah, I can have time for my practicals or my assignments and talking to the girls, my kids, and having a personal life, man. Like, I feel like even my heart is at peace. I prayed for this job. I prayed hard for it. I prayed hard for a better working environment, and I didn't know God was going to give me this kind of a better working environment, a laid back schedule or working environment. And I am super duper grateful. I am grateful. I am a living testimony of God's grace. Like, everything, like, he keeps showing up in my life. I kid you not, like, he keeps showing up. Even my experience in Korea with Hagwons is not that bad. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like he always shows up for me, even when I find myself in weird situations or hard situations. He always shows up for me, shows me how to deal with ezozindo in some kind of way. I don't know, but so I hope, because now I have all the time in the world, I hope I will be able to continue vlogging and editing. It's actually my birthday month. It's April. I don't really have solid plans, but I am going to celebrate myself. I am going to be traveling this year. I am going to be spending time with my kids as well. So I'm going to be documenting my life more often now. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope you are going to give direct hires a chance. Yeah, it's not really that hard to put the documents together. And yeah, see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you.